Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me for another fly time video. Today I'm going to be tying an unconventional pattern to most. We are going to be tying a floating CDC Sulfur Mayfly Nymph. In the vise we have a Sabre 7224, which is a barbless nymph and wet fly hook in a size 14. For our thread we're going to use Semperfli, and this is their 12-aught. Their wax thread in a brown. We're going to start the fly by attaching the thread directly behind the eye, and we're going to make thread wraps down the shank until we get to the point where we are essentially in line with the barb, if there was a barb on the hook. So right before the bend. Remove our tag into our thread. For our tail, we're going to be using wood duck. I'm not going to be shy with the fibers that I use on this for the tail because this is a buggy pattern. By design, it is a buggy pattern. I'm going to attach that top and make our wraps down the shank. So I came up with this pattern because I continued to see fish rising to what I thought were, essentially they look like nymphs to me. So I guess they were bugs that were caught in the nymphal shuck and never really made it to the emerger stage, but they made their way to the top level of the water. So I've created this pattern and I've had really good luck with it over the years. When you want to change a fly, you want something new, fish are rising, this will fool them. All right, so now I'm going to make a dubbing loop here at the back, right at the tie-in point, essentially the tail. I'll take my thread all the way to the front, stop there for a second. I'm going to add my spinning tool. I'm going to come in with my whip finisher and I'm just going to stop the tying thread up front. Got a little bobbin holder that I'll rest that bobbin on. Now for our abdomen, we're going to be using CDC, as the name of the fly suggests. So I've taken 3 fluorescent sunburst CDC feathers, and this is from Fulling Mill, and I've put those into the Pettigene magic tool. Now I'm going to come in with my clamp, my Swiss CDC multi-clamp, and this is the minus size, and remove that, and now I'm going to trim out all of the stems from all 3 of those feathers. I'll do that off camera, leaving me something like this. I'm going to take the tool, offer it to my loop, and then remove the fibers. Hopefully you can see that are now within the thread. So I'm going to come in with my nice sharp scissors. Thank you, John. And I'm going to trim away to where it looks something like this. A little bit of a taper as well, hopefully. And then I'm going to give it a spin. Let those turns get up to my material. I don't want to see that core of that thread. And then I can stop. And now I'm going to wrap using the rotary function on my vise. You can do it without a rotary function, but this does make it easier. Every few wraps or so I'm going to pull everything back. Make sure that I'm not capturing too many fibers as I'm coming. We can stop at this point. I've taken my thread off my bobbin holder. get it started on the hook. Pull everything back. Just let my spinning tool hang across my thread. And now we can remove the remainder of our dubbing brush or dubbing rope. This is super buggy, so now we'll come in and trim it. Just trying to make the shape of our body. Trying to take our time and not cut our tying thread nor our tail fibers. Some more on this side. I could probably sit here and trim for 20 minutes, so we'll just call that good. Now I'm going to clean up the front. I'm going to go ahead and tie back a little bit. Now we're going to get to the point where we're going to tie in our wing case, which is also CDC. So I've taken 3 natural CDC feathers and I've stacked them on top of each other with the tips lined up. Now I'm going to come in right at the top and attach those 3 CDC feathers and try to come back to that point where we are happy when we pull it over. We're going to see a good section of those feathers. At this point, I'm pretty happy with that. And you could do a dubbing loop. We could do another dubbing loop right now and do the exact same thing with 3 feathers stacked. But we've trimmed a pretty good amount of CDC from the previous feathers. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up from my desk and dub it directly on our thread, those remaining CDC that we had trimmed. Once I'm happy, I'll start to wrap that forward. Stopping just behind the eye. I'm going to add a little bit more action. I'm coming back. Stopped a little early. Get some more of these fibers in my fingers here. Pull everything back so we can see the eye. Make sure that we're not crowding the eye with any of the fibers. We can trim some of those small ones off. Come in now, go ahead and trim a couple of these that I see. Okay, so now we're going to grab our 3 CDC feathers, serving as the wing case, pull those over, tighten it down, and that's what you should see. From here, we're going to trim these off. Now, I want to make sure I'm, again, trying to save that bulk at the head. So I'm going to come in for each feather and try to remove each feather. But these two were coming together. So I try to remove each by themselves so as to try to save that bulk. Start right back behind the eye, cleaning everything up. And and building our small head. Come in with our whip finish tool. Make sure that's tight. Trim our thread. Now I'm just going to come in with the dubbing brush, pull and tease out some of those fibers that we dubbed on that were longer in the thorax section. And if they're too long, you can trim them. But I think I'm happy with those in that length. And that's it, folks. That is an unconventional pattern that I think you should have on your box. It is a size 14 floating CDC Sulfur Mayfly Nymph. I hope you like the fly. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to bringing you more flies that I like to fish and tie in the future. Thanks again.